Hi there. This is a demo of the device single sign-on capability in the MobileFirst platform, version 7.1. So let me start with kind of the finished product. So you'll see on the right-hand side here is my mobile device, and I've got two apps. One's called a services app, and the other is called a taxes app. So what you'll notice is I can tap on the services app, and when I do that, it brings me up, and because it's the first time I'm logging in, it is presenting me with a login screen. So I'm, can log in here as user one with my password. So I tap on login, and sure enough, I'm able to log in. It says welcome to the services app, user one. That's great. So if I come back to my home screen, I'm going to log in on the second app now, the taxes app. So when I tap on taxes, you'll notice that this time it actually takes me directly in. So it takes me directly into the taxes app and says, welcome to the taxes app, user one. So let's see what happens if we log out of one of these apps. So when I tap on the log out button here on the top right hand corner, you can see it brings me back to the login, to the logout screen. And now in this case, I'm going to kill my services app. And let's come back into the services app. And now you'll notice that we are not automatically logged in. So it's asking us to log in again. So just as another example, I'm going to kill the services this time and come back to the taxes app. Let me log in as user 2 in this case. Tap on my login button. So here you can see I'm now into the taxes app as user 2. And if I come back into the services app and open that up, you'll notice that it doesn't actually ask me for my password. It just directly logs me in as user 2. So let's see what's happening behind the scenes here in terms of what it took to get this going. So here on the left-hand side, you can see my MobileFirst Studio. I've got a single project defined, which I've called Device SSO Project. If I expand that, you'll notice that I have two apps. So here's the Services app, and here's the Taxes app. And so, if I look at these apps, they're just very simple apps. So I created these just, very quickly with Angular and Ionic as hybrid mobile applications. And you can see I've got one platform with my iPhone defined in both cases. The important thing to understand here is each of these apps is communicating with a different adapter. So you'll notice I have two different adapters. I have a secure services adapter and a secure taxes adapter. So obviously the services app is calling a function in the services adapter. Taxes app is calling functions in the taxes adapter. I could have made it so that both apps were calling a single adapter, but I thought this was a little bit more complicated of a scenario. The key thing to understand on these adapters is when I look at the definition of the adapter of each of these, you'll see that I have, in this case, a single procedure called get secure services data, because this is my services adapter, and it is secured by a security test, a mobile security test. My secure taxes adapter here, which has a get secure taxes data procedure, is secured by that same security test. Okay, so both of these are secured by the same security test. That's very important. When I look at the configuration of that security test, my server configuration authentication config, you'll notice in my mobile security test, I have SSO equals to true. I have that turned on. So because I have that defined, SSO equals to true on my test user realm, that is what enables SSO between everything that is using that security test corresponding to the associated login module. So really all you have to do is put SSO equals to true here on your mobile security test and make sure that your adapters are secured with this mobile security test, and you will have the SSO capability. Now the way that this actually works inside of the apps that I'm using, and I won't dive too deeply here into the code for how these apps are functioning, but if you take a look at the controller, when I launch the app, the very first thing that it's trying to do is it's trying to get data from the server. So when it tries to get data from the server, it makes an adapter call. So in this case, I'm in my services app. So it's calling that services adapter, calling that get secure services data method. And if it is successful, then it prints that, welcome to the app, and gives me my username and prints that onto the screen. If it's not successful because I haven't authenticated, or if the user hasn't authenticated in one of these two apps, it launches the challenge handler, which is defined here. And my challenge handler inside of my app.js will cause my modal dialog to pop up, which is my login dialog. And when I hit login, it responds back with the username and password, at which point if I'm successful, if I log in successfully with my username and password, then it will allow the successful completion of this adapter call, and I will have my message printed out on my screen, welcoming me to the corresponding app. So a very simple example of doing device SSO between two different apps. I can log into either app, I can log in, and then when I launch the other app, it will automatically respect my username and password. And then if I log out of either app, it will automatically log me out of either of these two apps as well, and unauthenticate me from any future server-side invocations until I log in again. So hopefully that was an interesting example of device SSO and how easy it is to turn that on in the MobileFirst server. Oh, one other thing I'll mention is it's important when you're doing device SSO to turn on the session independent mode and turn that into false. And when you turn session independent mode into false, you have to make sure that you're using the MFP attribute store of HTTP session. So those are two other settings that are important for the full functionality of the device SSO as I've shown in this demo. Okay, thank you.